in the studio.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the MaddenBallerz YouTube channel and our Georgia State Dynasty. Last week, the Panthers were at home in the Georgia Dome, demolishing the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers 65-10. It was a slaughter, and that moved Georgia State from number 6 in the country to number 4. This week, they'll be on the road for more Sun Belt Conference play against the Troy Trojans. Will the Georgia State Panthers stay undefeated on the road this week? And overall, we'll find out coming up next. Georgia State versus Troy.
As your last one, so they're going to have to prove it on the field again today. That's going to do it for us here on the pregame show. NCAA Football 14 action coming at you.
Troy starts out with the ball, and they are a running team, so we have to watch out for that. Handoff to Stovall on the first play of the game, and he is going to go for a big one, 23 yards up the middle, and just like that, they are at midfield. First and 10, handoff to Stovall again. He breaks another tackle, hurdles a player, and he's inside the 20. He's going to be dragged down maybe at the 1, 51 yards. Stovall, 84 yards and 2 rushes. First and goal, handoff to Stovall, and he's going to be hit hard at the 1, no gain. Second and goal, handoff to Stovall, and he's taken down from behind for a loss of 1. Third down and goal now for the Trojans from the 2. Handoff will go to Matthews this time, who's going to bounce off a tackle and stumble into the end zone for the touchdown, and Troy takes the early 7-0 lead. We get a studio update now. Louisiana Lafayette remains undefeated with a win over Louisiana Monroe, who is 1-3, 35-14 victory. Steve Smith and the Panthers come out now. 5 touchdowns in his last game against Western Kentucky in that blowout win, 65-10. First and 10 here, he's going to find Trevor Phillips over the middle, and that's good for 10 yards and a Panthers first down. 3rd and inches now for Georgia State. Smith will keep it on the read option here. He's got the first down, spin move. He's out towards midfield, and looks like he may be down here. He actually gets up here. They cannot bring him down. He gets back up and gains a few more. 29 yards for Steve Smith on the read option. 2nd down and 10 now, handoff to Anthony Gross. He's going to break a tackle and eventually pick up 12 yards and a first down. 1st and 10 now for Georgia State. Handoff to Stephen Leach, getting outside. First down and more inside the 10. 17 yards by Stephen Leach, and it's 1st and goal, Georgia State. Smith from under center will look to pass, quickly lobbing it up there to the corner for Lavelle Hampton, and it's incomplete. 2nd and goal now, man in motion. Smith back to pass once again. Pressured this time, and sacked, taken down back at the 20. That's an 11-yard loss. 3rd and goal now for the Panthers. Smith looking to pass here, throwing it to the end zone, and broken up by Ryan Jean at the last minute. And the Panthers will have to settle for a field goal. 7-3 Troy. They take over. Stovall gets the handoff, and he has another first down and more. 89 yards rushing by this Troy offense already, and we're not even through the first quarter. Handoff to Stovall on 1st and 10. He's got another first down again at 13, and he's close to 100. He is at 106 rushes, 100 yards, and we're not even through the first quarter. 2nd and 11 now. Finch is going to pass and hit Matthews here for a first down into Georgia State territory. 18-yard pickup. 1st and 10. Finch hands off to Stovall. He gets outside. First down and more inside the 10. And he will go all the way. 31 yards for the touchdown. And Troy takes a 14-3 lead. The Panthers take over with a minute to go in the quarter. Smith back to pass. Will dump it off to Anthony Gross on the screen play. But he's going to be taken down short. A flag comes in, and it's going to be face mask. 15 yards and a first down for Georgia State. 59 seconds left in the first quarter. Smith finds Luther Madsen for the first down catch, and they're into Trojan territory. From there, Smith from under center will fire and find Madsen again. He's down to the 31-yard line, a 15-yard gain. Second down and 10 now for Georgia State. Handoff to Leach. He avoids his own man there, gets outside and gets the first down inside the 20, taken down to the 18. And at the end of one quarter, it's 14-3. Troy, upset alert here on the road for Georgia State. Panthers are driving as we start the second quarter. 2nd and 2 now from just outside the 10. Handoff to Gross up the middle. He will go. Touchdown, Anthony Gross. Georgia State climbs within 4 here at 14-10. And we have another studio update here. Middle Tennessee State trying to stay undefeated, 14-7 over Western Kentucky right now in that game in the second quarter. Back to our game. Troy takes over, up 14-10. Finch going to the sideline here, and B.J. Allen with a deflection. Probably should have had the pick 6 there. Instead, it is 3rd and 5 now. Finch quickly outside to Stovall, and he's going to be stopped for a loss of 1 on the play, and that'll force Troy to punt. Georgia State takes over here now at their own 44-yard line. Smith on 2nd and 9 will find Terrence Flynn for a gain of 8. And they would pick up that first down on 3rd down. 1st and 10, Smith back to pass here, firing over the middle, caught by Flynn. Again, his second catch on the drive is good for 21 yards into Trojans territory. 1st and 10 now from the 24. Smith is going to keep it on the read option, and he is going to pick up a first down, a gain of 12. Georgia State has 1st and 10. And now it's 2nd and 5 inside the 10 here. Smith back to pass, fighter to the end zone, incomplete. I believe that was intended for Lavelle Hampton. 3rd and 5 now. Smith back to pass from the shotgun here, quickly outside to Josh Everson, who breaks a tackle and gets the end zone, 7 yards on the pass and catch. And Georgia State has taken the lead, 17-14. Troy takes over here, 3rd down and 1, handoff to Stovall. And he's going to be stopped behind the line. No gain on the play. A nice play by the Georgia State defense, and they get the ball back here with 3 minutes to go in the half. Smith back to pass will find Luther Madsen over the middle. Good for 21 yards and a first down. 1st and 10, working from the shotgun. Smith will keep it on the read option, and that is the wrong move. Taken down behind the line, a 1-yard loss on the play. 3rd down and 1. Handoff to Mark Barnes, and he's going to find the first down marker and more, breaking tackles and making his way into Troy territory. 3rd down and 10 for Georgia State now. Smith back to pass will fire, and it's incomplete. Almost picked off, should have been picked off, and Georgia State is going to have to punt. Troy takes over here. 1st and 10, handoff to Stovall up the middle. And he's got lots of running room and a flag at the end of the play. Face mask will put him in Georgia State territory at the 30. Finch on 3rd and 5 is going to go down and lose the ball. And Buck Holt is going to pick that one up. He's past midfield here inside the 30. Can he go all the way inside the 10? He runs into his own man. Taken down at the 3. 1st and goal, Georgia State. Already up by 3, handoff to Mark Barnes. He's going to find his way forward. Looked like he got in, but they call him down at the half-yard line. 2nd down and goal, handoff to the fullback, Terry Jones, and he's in the end zone for the touchdown. Georgia State extends their lead to 24-14 as we head into halftime. Taking a look at the halftime stats, Georgia State pretty balanced on offense, over 200 yards of total offense, and the same with Troy. They're putting up the yards on the ground, and they get the ball here, start the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 already into Georgia State territory. Finch will keep it, and he's going to break a tackle. He's got the first down and more. Down the sideline he will go, and no one will catch him. Finch with the touchdown, and that gets Troy back in this game. 24-21, Georgia State on top as they take over now for the first time in the second half. Handoff to Gross. He go outside here. He's got the first down and more. Pushed out of bounds at the 38. Later on in the drive, they're up towards midfield. It's 1st and 10. Smith will keep it on the read option. And he's got the first down and more into Trojans territory. 3rd and 2 for the Panthers. Smith under center will fake the handoff. Roll out to his right here. Fire over the middle. And caught by Terrence Flynn inside the 10, 20 yards. And it's 1st and goal, Georgia State. Smith under center will hand off to Stephen Leach. And he will go down at the 2. It's a 4-yard gain. 2nd down and goal. Hand off to Leach. Untouched into the end zone for the touchdown. And Georgia State retains a 10-point lead now. 31-21. Finch and the Trojans take over. And Finch is going to go down. Sacked on the play. That'll set up 3rd and 14. Finch from the shotgun here. Looking to pass. Is going to try to dump it off there outside, but it's broken up by Ben Wood. And that'll force the Trojans to punt. Georgia State takes over here at midfield. Smith back to pass here, scrambling out, taking off, and firing on the run, and it's caught by Anthony Pendleton inside the 20, taken down at the 17. 2nd down and 7 now for the Panthers. Handoff to Anthony Gross outside. He's going to try to break one tackle, but a second man comes in and takes him down. 3rd and 4 now for Georgia State. Smith rolls out to his left here. He's going to take off and get the first down and more. He falls forward into the end zone. Touchdown, Steve Smith on the ground. And Georgia State has a 38-21 lead now as we head into the 4th and final quarter. Georgia State has a pretty decent lead as we head into the 4th quarter and the ball. 38-21, handoff to Stephen Leach, and he's going to try to break that tackle, but he's taken down. 3rd down and 5. Smith from the shotgun here is going to dump it off to Luther Madison over the middle. He's got the first down catch into Trojan territory. 2nd down and 4 now for the Panthers. Smith will keep it on the read option and pick up just enough for the first down, a gain of 6. 2nd down and 7 now for the Panthers. Smith working from the shotgun, pump fakes, throw this one up to the end zone, and it's caught. Terrence Flynn comes down with the catch, 26 yards and a touchdown. And Flynn coming up with some big catches in this game, and Georgia State takes a 45-21 lead. Troy takes over here, down by 24 points, 2nd and 12, or 2nd and 10, and he's going to go down. That was 1st down, 2nd and 12 now for Troy. Finch back to pass, will dump it off to Stovall, and he's going to gain nothing, taken down at the line. 3rd down and 12 now. Finch hands off to Stovall. He's going to break a tackle. He's got the first down and more, past midfield. Can anybody catch him? No one's in range here inside the 20, 10, touchdown, Joe Stovall, 77 yards on that one. And they'll go for 2 here. Finch back to pass here. Will have a lot of time. Step up and fire to the end zone off the mark. Incomplete. And it's 45-27. They have to go for 2 here even early on in the 4th. And this one bounces off a Trojan player and caught and picked up by Ross. That'll be a legal touching, and the Panthers get the ball. 3rd down and 2. Smith keeps on the read option. He's got the first down and more up into Trojan territory. 1st and 10, Georgia State. 2nd down and 5. Smith hands off to Gross. He's got the first down, and he falls forward for a gain of 9. Georgia State trying to run out the clock here and not give the ball back to Troy. 2nd and 6, handoff to Mark Barnes. He breaks a tackle, gets the first down on a gain of 8. 1st and 10 now from the 16-yard line. Handoff to Leach. He gets outside here. Jukes a defender, gets the first down, pushed out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Be 1st and goal, Georgia State from the 5 here. Smith under center will hand off to Barnes up the middle, and he works his way down to the 1. 2nd and goal now for Georgia State. Smith is just going to hand this one off to Anthony Gross up the middle into the end zone. Touchdown, Georgia State, and they take a 52-27 lead here over the Trojans. And we have a studio update here Number 1 Miami goes down to former number 1, current number 8 Notre Dame. So that will move Georgia State up in the rankings after this victory over the Trojans. Steve Smith, 84 yards on the ground, 200 through the air, and 3 total touchdowns. And Georgia State gets the victory on the road to stay undefeated, 52-27. Taking a look at scores from other games around the country this week, number 12 Stanford goes down to UCLA 36-28. And we'll take a look at the stats from our game today. Georgia State with 480 yards of total offense, 200 through the air, and 280 on the ground. So a pretty good day. And Steve Smith, your player of the game. And also, he's in the Heisman running. He may be at the bottom of the list, but he's in the top 5 here. First time we've seen that from a Georgia State player. And we've got some news on the recruiting trail. Fred Horn has committed to Georgia State, the JUCO from Chattahoochee, Florida. An outside linebacker. He is rated 79 overall. He is a gem, and we have got him over some very good teams here like Miami, Florida, Florida State, Central Florida, and South Carolina. So we get a big prospect coming to Georgia State next year. And the Panthers move up to number 3 in the country after that loss by Miami to Notre Dame. And will be on the road again next week, facing off against South Alabama. They come in 3-2. We are 5-0 on the season. Can we stay undefeated? Come back for that. If you like this episode, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode.